not moving very fast on this vehicle. What happens when the tires go flat? Well, you've got to rev the engine harder, it overheats, or the rims, the tires come off the rims, and the rims heat up and lock up the brakes. So it's just a waiting game. With 12 police vehicles back there, plus 3 or 4 ahead of him, he's not going anywhere. He's, just biding his time.
And it looks like the window is down, right? The driver's side window is down. It's hard to tell if, I'm assuming it's a gentleman from what I can see, if he was waving something out of the window. What can you see from your vantage point?
Well, it looked like he was just waving or saying something to that individual that was talking to him. I'm gonna drop in the extender here and see if we get a little tighter. It's gonna go to dark a little bit, and then we'll be right back. There we go.
There we go.
You can see better there.
Yeah. That helped.
So you can see that the driver of this vehicle wearing a light-colored shirt of some kind.
Looks like a colored shirt, long sleeve. Yep.
Now we're picking up a little bit more speed here.
Yeah, it does look like he picked up speed. Definitely faster than 5 miles per hour.
But if he's on 4 flat tires, that could actually end up exacerbating his situation and causing more damage to the car, could it not, Vinny?
Exactly. But what happens is you'll ruin of course the tires are ruined already.
Right.
But they'll come off the rims, and then you'll be running steel on asphalt or steel on concrete, and that will generate a lot of friction, a lot of heat, which then in turn it boils off the grease in the bearings, and the bearings lock up, and then nothing moves.
What are you seeing up ahead? Can you widen out for a moment just to get an idea? Okay. Plenty of space
PCH is
and room.
totally cleared all the way up the coast here.
Wow, okay. Completely cleared. Just this car on the road and the police cruisers falling behind.
And again, there's a reason why law enforcement officers at this point are playing the waiting game. Because if there's someone in that vehicle who actually is armed, and there have been reports of that, well, this makes the situation that much more dangerous.
You're exactly right, Tony. Again, as I said before, it's just a waiting game now. The law enforcement entourage behind this vehicle, they're just going to wait till it stops. They can't do much other than that and not jeopardize other people on the ground here.
And it's going to stop one way or another. Either it's going to stop because everything's going to lock up, or it's going to run out of gas.
I don't know, Vinny, if
Exactly.
you're catching this, but it almost, okay, I see him taking a sip of something, but I almost saw him blowing some smoke out for a moment ago, or just drinking. Took some pills.
It could be. Yeah, it looked like he either took some pills or...
Well, and he's gesturing. Did you see that? He's gesturing as if he's talking to someone on the phone, or he's just frustrated. Or
well, there's someone next to him, right?
I mean, he may be talking to the passenger next to him.
Yeah, there's somebody in the seat next to him, so they're having a conversation in there. Be real interesting to be a fly inside there and see what they're talking about.
He's gesturing to police too, it seems.
Right.
Yes.
Looks
Yeah,
like
he was gesturing at the police that were standing outside the... Okay, my pilot just pointed out that there are people on the bike path that are following along.
Vinny, let's continue to follow this, and we're going to bring in Dennis Zine, a former councilman and who also has associations with law enforcement as well. Dennis, what are we watching? What is the procedure here? This obviously could be a very dangerous situation. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the danger is if he has a weapon. There's obviously 2 people in the car we can see from the shots from the helicopter. But the fact is, and it's interesting, he was coming up here on the left where they're breaking intersections to slow and stop traffic at the intersection he's crossing. But it's highly bizarre. He's got the tires that are out. You got bicycle riders now that are approaching on the left. It's become a comedy scene, which oftentimes it does. In this particular case, I saw him drinking some kind of a liquid out of some bottle or a can.
Yeah.
He's just casually driving down the road, not a care in the world, and he's obviously not yielding to the officers who are following, and those that are then moving ahead and blocking traffic at the intersection he's going to cross. So this is one of the bizarre pursuits from the city and the county and the state of California.
Well,
it's highly bizarre what's happening with him right now.
Well, his demeanor.
You see the gestures.
Yes, his demeanor is just so nonchalant.
It's very, very bizarre behavior, and he's sitting there having obviously a passenger, whatever conversation they're engaged in, and he doesn't have a care in the world. He's obviously not speeding. I don't know how he can with the situation with the tires, but you've got an army of officers, the vehicles. Now you have another police vehicle that's going to be passing on the left. What they're doing is going up to the intersections to block traffic to make sure that no innocent party gets involved in this. So this will go continuously. They're not going to do a pit maneuver, at least it doesn't look like, and this is a perfect area where the speed is slow enough and you don't have any opposing traffic, you don't have any parked vehicles, but if he does have a weapon, that's the hazard. If he has a weapon, they have to use extreme caution because if they do a pit maneuver and there's a weapon involved, the officers don't want to jeopardize themselves or anyone nearby. So
exactly.
Now,
and Dennis, when you have two people in this vehicle, one is bad enough. But I would think that if you have a second person, that just escalates things all that much more exponentially, I would imagine.
well, it's uncertain. You don't know if that other person has a weapon. You don't know if the other person's been kidnapped. There's no idea. You see the intersection blocked down. All the police cars that are there blocking the intersection. And he'll pass to this intersection. Then they'll move ahead. He's not speeding, obviously. He's not yielding. He's just like a parade, going down the roadway. And the intersections are blocked off by all the units. And as soon as he passes, just like they do a motorcade, for head of state, they block the intersections. Now, normally on motorcycles, I don't see any motor officers out there, just officers in cars. And the helicopters overhead, and he's just casually going down the roadway. Everybody's watching. He's passed through it safely, and now you'll see the police cars move ahead of him, and they'll be leapfrogging. And this will continue until he wants to stop or some other action is taken. But if he does have a weapon, and there's some concern about that, they're not going to do anything to endanger themselves or any of the public. So this could go on for a long period of time based upon the amount of gas he has in that vehicle.
Well, and Dennis, we're now getting some additional information from law enforcement about this particular situation. And what we're finding out is that this person, the driver, is in the car with his girlfriend. She's in the car with him, and that they're speaking to a third party.
His sister
on the phone.
Okay.
And by the way, his girlfriend is there with him willingly. This is not a hostage situation.
So this is coming to us from the police, so we can confirm that. The suspect in the car, along with his girlfriend, who's there willingly, and they're on the phone with the suspect's sister at this time.
And he doesn't want to stop for whatever reason. He doesn't want to yield to the police.
Well, at this point, he has, all this distance that he can go. They've cleared the road for him, basically, shut down the street. But at what point will police intervene? I understand they're a bit hesitant because of the reports that he's armed and dangerous. But is there at any point that he'll intervene when he starts to interfere with other drivers and traffic?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that there was a fear of a weapon, they would have already done a pit maneuver. They had an ideal situation to a pit maneuver way back when. He'll get charged with evading. He's not going to be charged with reckless driving because he's not driving in a reckless fashion, but he is evading. So ultimately, he'll be going to jail. I don't know what's going to happen with his girlfriend in the car.
And going back to jail, apparently, Dennis, because we're receiving information that he may have just been released from jail.
Well, then obviously he's been through the system before, and he's just carrying on having his little parade and his status on local television here in Los Angeles. This is obviously slow. He's probably going less than 30 miles an hour, and those tires, how many of them are out? He's still maneuvering down the road. You don't see any sparks flying. You don't see any fire ignited, which oftentimes will happen when the tires give out. When you're riding on the rim, you'll see sparks and the fire could ignite. Yeah. But you have a whole parade of police cars behind this individual. The speed isn't increasing. It's not decreasing. Now you'll see another police vehicle coming up on the left. It'll take another intersection. So this is basically like a parade or an escort detail for a dignitary. That's exactly the way they deploy, and they take the intersections, except on motorcycles.
And we understand, actually, at least the reports we're getting, we haven't confirmed any of this, that 3 of the 4 tires have been blown out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that he's not sparking, that the wheels aren't sparking.
Well, it seems like he's going slow. That's
well, he is going slow. He is going slow, but the fact is you're rubbing on metal now.
Yeah.
And that metal with the asphalt should be sparking, but maybe he's going slow enough where it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually he'll run those rims down to the bare metal. There'll be nothing to run on.
Have you noticed when we were doing part of this pursuit, covering part of this pursuit, the driver's side window was down. Those windows are very darkly tinted. Now the window is up, which, again, that kind of increases the danger in all of this.
Well, it does. There's no question. It's danger to the public, danger to the officers, and the officers fear if there is a weapon, and there was conversation of a possible weapon, they're going to err on the side of caution. They're going to be
slowing down there.
Yes, he is. You've got some good camera view. The people in that helicopter are doing a great job with the camera view. If you'd open his sunroof, we'd have a good view of him inside that car.
And
but the windows are up.
It is stopped.
Now he's stopping. He's stopping.
Now the question is he going to stay stopped?
Well, does he have a choice? The car might not go any further.
Well, it's unless it's run out of gas, because he's been running on those rims, on the 3 rims.
Right.
He's got that one tire. So now we've got to stop. So they're going to hold back.
The window's
They're
down.
not going to approach.
His
He's
arms
hanging
are
out of the window.
Now it's a critical time. Now we have the adrenaline pumping again. They're going to approach. They're not going to get too close unless he takes off again or he jumps out and runs. If he runs, he'll have a number of units, probably K9 chasing him.
And here's the thing, Dennis. Usually in this situation, what you would advise is that he just listen to the police officers and follow their commands. Is that not right?
Well, they would be ordering commands right now.
And he's talking back.
Conversation. Yeah.
He's having a conversation with
He
them.
seems very animated.
They'll order him out of the car, and obviously he's having a conversation, but he's not complying, exiting the vehicle. So it looks like he's arguing with them by his gestures.
Yeah.
At least his hands are out.
Well, his hands are out, but we don't know about the girlfriend, if in fact there's still a weapon in the car. And if there's no weapon in the car, this could have been taken down a lot earlier. That's what really puts the kink in this, and the fact is, if there is in fact a weapon, and they're going to err on the side of caution and reasonableness, and they're not going to take the chance of getting hurt or hurting an individual who could even be the girlfriend. So if it turns out there's no weapon in the car, just a slow speed pursuit of a stolen car, they'll go to jail, the car will be impounded, but you have an army of officers that are being pulled for this detail away from their normal assignments, and the people who need police service in that particular area are probably going to have a delay just because you've got so many units tied up in this.
Well,
but you've got officers out there.
It's a waste of resources. They shouldn't have to deploy this many.
The officers have their weapons. They've got their
They have their weapons drawn.
They're either shotguns or AR-15s.
Right.
They're not using the sidearms. So there's a concern that he may have a weapon. You wouldn't see them with those weapons unless
the officers, who, needless to say, are also putting their lives on the line here by
exactly.
The door's opening. The passenger side door.
door's opening, and he's still hanging out of the driver's side.
So now, if the passenger gets out, now the window, when he's back in,
like
the window's open.
She's coming out.
And she's complying. She's complying.
Hands up, walking backwards.
He's got one arm out. He's got one arm in the car. So now she looks like she's exiting the vehicle.
His hands are still out.
She is clearly complying with, it seems, with the officer's commands.
She's complying. Yes, she's complying, walking back, making sure that she complies. So they'll get her on the ground, take her into custody. So she's obviously cooperating at this stage. He's still got both arms out, both hands out.
So they have her now. She's in custody now.
Yep.
They want him, and she's obviously secondary. They want to get him out of that car. He's the one who's the main individual in this particular situation.
He's the principal.
He is the principal. She's secondary. So now they're going to take her into custody. Yeah, and that wouldn't surprise me. Get out of jail, go get a beer, steal a car, have the police chase you, and then now this situation. Now it looks like it's back in the car with this bottle. But
his body language is very animated, a bit aggressive in the way he's speaking back.
Well, normally they're not going to speak back. They're going to get out of the car, comply. Right. The game's over. You'll turn around, put your hands up, and go into custody. This person is dragging this out.
And he may be impaired. He may be inebriated.
He may be, but they're going to talk to the girlfriend and find out from her any information. Is there a weapon? What's he doing? What's the situation? They're going to interrogate her as quickly as possible, get whatever information they can. So they want to get him in custody. They want to get him in custody as quickly as possible. The Bearcat may be en route.
The car's moving a little. Do you see that?
Yeah, but he's not. Now he's going to go again.
Wait a minute.
The passenger door is open.
The passenger door just closed.
Well, the car lurched forward.
Not very fast.
It just, well, see, he's not really in control of that turning around as he is in the seat. There we go. Well, yeah, I think that was just maybe his foot slipped off or something because he's not in a position to drive away on Lancashire Boulevard. I believe it was like Laurel Canyon.
Yes.
The B of A.
It was the Bank of America there, yes.
B of A. Yeah, I still remember that. And I was at that scene, and those two individuals that were robbing banks with all the weapons that they had, and they were willing to die for the cause, and they both passed away. But a lot of people were injured in that tragedy. We didn't have the rescue vehicles at that time. Now we have these, and most departments have them, and you don't use them every day.
Well,
when you need them, they're there. They're very, very effective.
And one of the situations I remember with that particular one, since you brought it up, is that the police were outgunned in that situation.
Well, sure they were good. That's when the officers went to B&B gun sales to get rifles, because the AK-47s that the suspects had, the officers had shotguns and their pistols, and that was it. And they increased the armament of officers after that, got the rescue vehicles, the Bearcats, and they've become more sophisticated as time's gone on. But it's a situation where you don't use that Bearcat every day, but when you need it, as you need it now, it comes into use, and very specific use for those situations, and that's what we see happening right now.
Ended, or the standoff ended, because nature calls.
Really?
That's happened.
That's happened more than one time.
Yes, it has.
Kind of comical, but it's happened more than one time, where they have to relieve themselves, shall we say?
Well, that might be next.
They exit the car, but there's not many places in this particular area to relieve themselves, because you got open fields and a highway. There's no place to hide. He's in a unique location, no place to hide.
No, but an opportunity to have to get out of the car. It looks like he's moving.
Well, he set down the bottle.
The bottle down.
And they're still talking. They're still
opening
talking.
the door. Opening the door.
He's putting his hands up. It looks like he's about to surrender. At least that's the impression he's giving.
It's about time.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I think he may.
Does he?
Well, he doesn't have.
Oh no, shorts.
He has shorts. He doesn't have pants on.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a slight delay from with the view you're seeing. The view
I
that I'm
see.
seeing.
Okay.
Slight delay.
But he has his hands on his
Hands
head.
Now he's, I see him getting out of the car.
Right.
And now he had his hands on his head, and then he started waving again. You're not supposed to do that, Dennis.
No, you're not. You're supposed to follow direction. But he may be intoxicated a bit also.
Exactly. That's what we
impaired.
were speculating could be the case.
Yeah. So now he's facing the officers. But the SWAT team's behind him. And again, the time's on the side of the officers there. There were no rush. They want to take him into custody, but it's not like they have to open up the freeway. Everything's
It looks
static.
like he's taking his shirt off now.
Well, they want to make sure he doesn't have a weapon. That wouldn't be uncommon to take off the shirt to make sure there's no weapon, that he's not hiding. Again, that creates a whole new environment when they have the fear that the individual has a weapon. And that's stated at one time during the situation. So now we see...
And he continues to gesture, gesticulate, and just
yelling.
Have a conversation in a fairly aggressive way.
Yeah. No, he's not happy.
He's agitated. He's definitely agitated.
He's very agitated. But what we see happening now...
Seems like he doesn't know what to do.
Well, they're telling him what to do.
Yeah, but he seems confused.
Walk toward us, turn around, put your hands up. It's pretty simple.
Go backwards. There you go.
And he's having trouble walking backwards, which anyone could, but if he's intoxicated, it's going to be even more difficult.
Well, see, whichever way he goes, if he decides to run, the canine's going to jump on him.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to jump over the barrier and take off. He's surrounded. There's no way he's going to escape from here. He's going to hopefully cooperate and put this to an end. So at this particular juncture, but they want to make sure. They want to make certain that he doesn't have any kind of weapon. And then once that's determined, then they'll put the cuffs on him and away he goes. They'll impound the car, find out from the girlfriend the story, and put this to rest.
You have to assume that he's impaired because, usually, Dennis, when it gets to this point, they know they are done.
Right.
So for him to continue trying to converse with the officers tells you there's something else going on there.
Well, he knows where he's going. He knows he's going to jail. There's no question in his mind. He's obviously in no hurry to get there. And while he was drinking, it looked like it was beer. So you see the officers have their weapons out to make certain until he's in custody.
And they still have to check that car out since it's so darkly tinted to make sure there isn't anyone else in there. Is that right?
Exactly. There could be someone hiding in the back seat, and that's happened before. Unlikely, but they want to verify. And this is a tactical situation where once he's in custody, they'll approach the car. But as you see, the officers who are deployed appropriately, one officer is telling him what to do, other officers are giving cover. If he were to do anything right now, if he were to take off running, that canine would be on him so quickly.
Yeah, the canine's ready to go.
They're ready to go. And that dog is anticipating, but that's why that dog is there, and it's a very useful tool.
There we go. They're approaching him now, and they got him.
They have him.
They have him.
You see the canine's on the top left.
Right.
So he's finally cooperating. Finally giving.
Now, it's very interesting, Dennis. He's being taken into custody, and now we've seen the Bearcat move in between the cruisers and the car, which is still there. And now it's backing back.
Well, the Bearcat came. It didn't do anything, but it was there.
Again, it's going to be a while before traffic patterns are able to get back to normal, but at least it's over peacefully.